my first question, how would you define an AI agent in the context of business process automation?
You know, the trend in generative AI started with large language models. Now, it's still the same technology, but evolved. You know, what makes an agent more than just a language model is actually three things. One is, it's not just about text. So these models are now what we call multimodal. So they can use images, voice, video, pretty much all media. Second is, remember we used to call them chatbots. You know, you give them a question, they give you an answer. Agents actually can prompt themselves and think through a complex problem, a bit closer to what we call cognition already. And then finally, in the era of large language models, it was purely just interacting with the chatbot. Now, they can interact with the outside world. They can book flights on the internet. They can search stuff on Google. Basically do what we would consider something only humans could do. So all of these factors combined are what makes agentic AI today.
Generative AI was basically all about data. Data that had to be cleansed, structured, organized, and in order to yield useful information, Doc. But it sounds like agentic AI is different. It sounds like agentic AI can actually reason. Is this true? And if it is, does that mean that agentic AI will replace the decision-making and judgment of agents?
Yeah, let's break that down. It's still about data, but one thing that makes agentic AI quite compelling, especially for businesses, is you can literally ask them to fulfill a complex task. That's why there's such a thing as agentic AI workflows, where you have, let's say you want to plan a vacation. It's literally many tasks. You have to look for a place to go, book your flights, then do your accommodation. So that's exactly how agentic works as well. You give it a complex business problem and it'll break it down. I think one thing that probably spooks a lot of people is because these are ways of working that were previously, left for humans. Will this now mean that agents will replace humans? I don't think so, because at the end of the day, you still need somebody to trigger a process, and at the end of the day, after the agents do it, someone has to review the process. So the jobs will stay, but they will change, as we've always said.
So let's dig deeper into what you call agentic AI workflows. What makes that different and distinguishes it, Doc, from other types of AI applications in a business environment?
Yeah, traditionally we've seen AI primarily as a way of analyzing data, and even with the dawn of large language models, you're still kind of confined to a chat interface. Agents go beyond that. Sometimes you may not even talk to an agent. The agent's just busy doing stuff behind the scenes. And the cool thing about agents is their ability to break down a complex task by prompting themselves. And then secondly, they can also prompt other agents. You can have swarms of these agents working invisibly. And it's perfect for jobs that are very repetitive, require minimal supervision. And more importantly, jobs that require a lot of data processing, like documents, tables, spreadsheets. That's actually the first things that agentic is hoping to solve.
You were talking about AI agents, right? Swarming. But those are still being supervised by a human agent.
Yes.
So theoretically, or practically maybe, each human agent can have a group of AI agents to make him or her more productive, efficient, and faster.
Yeah, maximization of productivity has always been the compelling promise of even Gen AI when it first came out. But here it's becoming more vivid because, Gen AI was primarily focused on content. Agentic AI is focused on process. And that's why it's now easier to see how this thing can optimize a workflow in the back office, for example, or even call